So I recently got a question from a friend. His name is Tobias, and he was asking about getting a surface that's not perfectly centered, or I'm sorry, perfectly balanced across the center plane. If you look at the surface, it looks like it is. It looks really, really good actually. High level of accuracy, everything looks nice and clean. But when I do, I'm going to just say Control I for information. And for this, I'm going to go into Face, analyze that face, select OK, and I'm going to bring the information window onto my screen. And what you'll notice here is your normal absolute, normal WCS. Everything is the same, and what this is doing is if I look at the screen, you'll see this normal vector right here. This normal vector is basically off slightly. This should be 0, dead 0. It shouldn't be several decimal places and just a little number. This is telling me that this surface is not perfectly clean across the center line. So how do we go and we clean this up? Now, there's no tool in NX that says, "Hey, be perfectly centered across the center plane." I can split the surface and do a match edge and do all sorts of other things if you want to, but if you want that surface, which I recommend, being built across the center plane, and then with that you create a perfectly clean surface across that center plane rather than stopping and then symmetrying it, right? You've seen my other videos. So what I'm going to do in this case is, let me go ahead and kill this. I'm going to refresh. So how I would tackle this is I would go in a curve, and I'm going to intersect. I'm going to intersect this surface with my center plane. Next, I'm going to take and once again, I'm going to use this original as a reference, just one side. I don't want both sides. And because of that, I need to extract out that curve. So I'm going to go into what's called Composite Curve, and I'm going to take this curve out, select OK, and let me go ahead and hide this for now. There's my curve, excuse me. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pattern that actually mirror the geometry. I'm going to mirror this across my center plane, select OK. Here, very simple, I have several options to go in and create this this surface. You can use like a studio surface if you want, or a conic surface if you want. Maybe I could do a conic, and we'll do a circular 3-point. And here's my start guide, interior guide, here's my end guide. My curve, I'll use my center curve for my spine, and I get that surface. This is just one way. Now if I measure this, again I'll just go Control I, and I'm going to specify face. Let me check this out. You'll notice that my J now is absolutely perfect. Perfectly clean surface across that center plane. It doesn't quite go out all to the boundaries. I can extend that or extrapolate that. But it's perfect. Really clean, simple geometry. Now, if you wanted this to extend out, again, there's other tools that you can use, like a studio surface. Maybe I come in here, 1, 2, 3. All right, now I don't have that spine curve to limit myself, right, to the size of the spine and the condition between the rest of the curves. So once again, I will analyze this, and you can see it is absolutely perfect. Now, excuse me, I'm going to change the color of this guy. Whoops. And let's just go to, we'll go to green, because I like green. And I'm going to go and bring back this original here. And at this point, I can start verifying the deviation that I have from one to the other. So I'll just go into Analysis, and under Analysis, you have your relationship deviation gauge Here's my original. Here's my new. And as you can see, I have a very, very small deviation. Okay, so it's not a terrible amount, and if it's more than desirable, you can go in there now and use your under surface X form, pick that surface. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I get the studio surface here, not the body, but I want the studio, and you'll notice the type of surface it generated. So at this point, I can increase the control points in the one direction, and you can begin decreasing to basically smooth this out. All right, so at this point you can play around with these numbers, and you can start playing around with the control polygon to get the desired result. And again, it does a really, really nice job, because as you can see, I'm still pretty close to the actual final shape. And then now, I'll just use surface normals. You can see me pick these two. Let me go to micro position and drag these down a little bit. Okay, and as you can see, I can really start affecting change or getting the shape just adjusted the way that I want. And get that really close, really, really quickly, just like that. And right now it's just playing with it, going back and forth and getting that result. Now, again, if you're really cautious, and I pulled it off a little bit further than in the opposite direction, but that's fine. But if I do my analysis on this now, let's again go to face, you'll see still absolutely perfect across my center plane. So that's just one way that I would tackle it. I hope that helps you out, Tobias. If it does, please leave me a comment or email me or let me know what's going on, and tell me how successful that was. And again, it's a question of how complex you need that surface to be, so you can go in there and play around with it. But that's honestly probably the easiest way that I can think of to get the result you want. Hope you liked it. If you do, please share the video, like the video, subscribe to my channel.